Welcome to our podcast, When Life Gives You Lemons. I'm Kevin.
And I'm Palmy. We consider ourselves disability advocates and intend to highlight some disability issues and things we find interesting that we frequently encounter when we're out and about. Also, some history on disability that we find interesting. This year, we're going to include more of the interviews of the people that the disability affects. We hope you enjoy it.
Oh, there, everybody. And welcome back to our podcast, When Life Gives You Lemons. I'm Kevin.
I'm Palmy.
And today we're going to talk about migraines.
The title of the episode is Inside the Migraine Mind. Why it happens and what happens and what happens.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, you actually have migraines, am I correct?
Yes.
So
have you never had one?
I've never had one. I always just thought they were a headache. But from what you're describing, a lot more goes on. And right up top, it talks about defining a migraine. It's a neurological disorder, not just a headache. Then it's going to go into prevalence, how it affects approximately 1 in 6 adults in the U.S. and why it matters, how it can affect your work, your relationships, and your daily functioning. Now, before we move on to number 2, why don't you describe to me basically what it means by not just a headache?
Well, it starts out with mine starts out with like an aura. I have like a zigzag in my eye, peripheral vision. I can see like a zigzag pattern in my eye. Sometimes it's both eyes, sometimes it's just one eye. If it's both eyes, I know it's going to be a terrible, terrible headache. If it's just one eye, then it's not usually as bad. It's caused by stress, sometimes by hormonal. When I was younger, it would happen during the time of month. It would it puts you down. Basically, it hurts to think. It hurts to open your eyes. It hurts to your whole head just is in terrible pain. Sometimes you throw up, you get nauseous. Just opening your eyes, your whole head hurts. Just like somebody hit you in the head is like physical pain, not just like a headache, but like physical pain. Like you're just touching your head hurts. So like if somebody touched your temples, it hurt. Just this touching of your skin would hurt. It makes sense that it is neurological because I think it has a lot to do with the nerves in the back of your head, inside your head. I know that some of the medication early on was caffeine and ibuprofen. So it would the nerves in your brain were tiny. They got small. And so when you take caffeine, it makes those nerve cells or those nerve things larger. And so the blood is opened up and could flow more steadily throughout it.
Oh, so the migraine makes them small and the caffeine makes them large.
Right. Typical medicine for a migraine was Excedrin. Headache medicine. That was typical what women would use, men and women would use. And also you would drink it with a cup of coffee or soda or something like that. So you were kind of double dosing the caffeine. That was a typical early on because I got them as soon as like 12 years old. And so my mom would give me a Coke along with Excedrin. And then you would just lay in bed, cover your eyes, lay in bed until it went away. Typically it was 24 to 36 hours. And it's just like having the flu. You just don't do anything.
I can't imagine laying there that long.
Oh, it was just miserable. I mean, if you had to get up, it was just utter pain. Just have to move your head. Just the movement of your head was, that was, just terrible. My mom had them horribly, and so I think, and I believe they are hereditary. My dad didn't have them until older. He was older in his life, but he eventually did get them too. So I got them from both sides of my family, I think. And I think they also run with heart disease. If you have heart disease in your family, I think it has a connection with migraines. My sister Laura had them. My sister Tammy has them. And I'm not sure if my brother has them or not.
Well, I can see why this would have an impact on work.
Oh, yeah.
Because if someone who worked for me had called up and said, I have a migraine, I can't work today.
Since you've never had them, you wouldn't get it.
Yeah, I wouldn't understand that really.
You can work with a headache. Yeah.
Knocks you out so much.
Yeah.
I would just say, well,
take 2 aspirins and come in.
Take 2 aspirins and come in, something like that. Yeah.
Well, now a lot of treatment online, you can see that there's actual iPads that they masks that they put on that massages your temples and produces heat and cold in your eye, around your eyes, because your eyes are very much part of the headache. They're where the aura starts. So that's some of the treatment that I see currently online that they can get. Of course, they're making money off all that stuff. So I don't know if I have not used it. I do know that my mom used to put cold compresses on my eyes. So I know that or hot, cold or hot. So I know that did help it. So didn't lessen it.
She alternate between cold and hot?
Yeah. But I don't know that it got rid of it any sooner. I think it just has to work through. She did do the Coke and the Excedrin. Now I have started recently. They went away for a long time after I had Rose, but most recently they've started coming back again, and I see a neurologist for them. And they now have pretty good medicine. I just had one 2 days ago, migraine. They have a medicine now where you take one and you get rid of the headache. I did take the medicine. I take an everyday pill to stop them from happening so often. But if they do happen, I have a pill that you take one, but you can only take 2 total. I took the one, but for 2 days now, my head has still been hurting. Not like a migraine, but like when I shake my head, I can feel the pain in my head of what it's left. So it went away. The major pain went away, but it allowed me to function. But I still know that I have I still feel like the migraine is still there.
Can't imagine it. To me, it's like a pop of some ibuprofen or whatever, and
that doesn't even phase it.
Hopefully, or if it's bad enough, maybe take a nap.
Yeah. Well, that's what you have to basically sleep through it because it's so painful. So the science behind migraines is, can you the role of, how do you say that?
Trigominovascular system.
And the cortisol spreading depression.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that means to you.
Mm-mm.
I don't even know the trigeminal-vascular system is.
I think it has to do with the nervous system. It is genetic. It does have genetic factors, and that is why migraines often runs in the family. Like I said, there's hormonal issues, estrogen influxes, and why migraines are disproportionately affect women. But I do know there are men that have had migraines also. The environmental triggers are stress, like I said, disturbances, weather changes. I do notice that. It's been really rainy here, and the what is it when it's so moist and humid? The precipitation or the rain. It's been raining and certain foods also affects it too. I found that chocolate, I think, is my trigger food. That if I eat too much chocolate or processed foods, it tends to bring on a migraine also. But not all. I mean, it's not. You can never think it's just one thing, because I've had no chocolate at all, and I've had migraines, and I've had no processed foods at all, and I've had migraines. So it's just a luck of the draw, I think.
Okay, how do migraines affect your work, parenting, and social life?
Well, basically, either manage through it, and you're going to be miserable, or just don't do it. Like my mom, she would be in bed for days.
Well, what age were you when you first had your first migraine?
12, probably. So I just probably didn't go to school. But I remember calling into work saying I had a migraine.
Yeah, how many days did you not go into work?
Oh, I have no idea. I never went to a doctor for migraines until, remember, I was here, and right after I had Rose, I kept having them constantly, continuously, and I ended up in the hospital. And that's when I saw Dr. Lee for the first time. And he diagnosed me with constant migraines and put me on a medication to stop them. So that was, and I was in my 30s by that point. So I never saw a doctor until I was in my 30s for migraines. And it takes a emotional toll also because it's unpredictable. There's a lot of stigma behind it. Like you said, you being a manager wouldn't even understood it. There's a lot of isolation because people don't understand how isolating it is.
Me not having had migraines or even know anybody that had migraines at the time, I wouldn't have really. It's almost like you're not lending credibility or recognizing a person in need. It's just like Pompey doesn't want to come to work again.
Right.
But you can't use migraines to get out of podcasting, just so you know.
Okay, see?
It's got to frustrate you at some point, though.
Yeah, it does. Well, you just get tired of fighting it all the time.
Well, anytime people...
As soon as you see that aura, it's like, oh, God, you just dread because you know it's going to happen, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. You're just down. But I it's nice that now, I had it Thursday night when I was just about ready to go to bed. I was sitting there relaxing, watching a few things on my phone, and all of a sudden the aura happened, and I knew you were waiting for me to go to bed. But if you go to bed when you're having that aura, you can't get sleep. Your eyes are just affected by it. So I went and took that medication, and I sat up until it went away. And then I went to bed and got up the next morning, and it wasn't as bad as I expected, but you were out of medicine. So I had to go to the VA to get the medicine. And the whole day, my eyes, just being in the sun, my eyes ached and my head ached all day long. I was telling Cece, that my head was just killing me. And you can't take additional medicine after you take that medicine I take. And you can only take 2. And I was afraid if I took another one, if the migraine came back, I couldn't take another one if it got worse. So I didn't take anything. So my head is still aching today because I didn't take that pill.
In the next segment, we talk about diagnosis and medical evaluation. Now, okay, let's contrast this. Okay, this is the diagnostic process, which is probably up to date or what happens now versus how this would be handled when you're a kid. For example, I think if myself or my sister or somebody were prone to migraines, it says, what neurologist look for? Well, I don't think we would have ever seen a neurologist. Perhaps a family doctor or something.
Or ER doctor, yeah.
Yeah.
So a neurologist is looking for red flags, meaning they're looking for someone to say that they have the aura or they have past history or their family has migraines. And then they're looking for images, the MRIs and what are the CAT scans and stuff like that.
Well, what exactly is displaying on an MRI for migraines?
I have no idea. I do know that the few times I have been to the ER for migraine, they think you're drug seeking. And so they make you sit there a long time to figure out whether you're drug seeking or not. So, and because you're in a lot of pain. So, the acute treatment
be uncomfortable too.
Yeah. Acute treatment is the Tritrans, which is what the medicine that I'm on now. The pans, anti-nausea medicine. That's usually what you get right away because you're usually sick to your stomach. Tylenol or medicine like that.
Ibuprofen.
Yeah. Not ibuprofen. It's the Tylenol.
Oh.
Because it's not an anti-inflammatory.
Okay. And the anti-nausea, I guess, would also be a key part of that.
Yeah, because you feel nauseous. You're sick to your stomach. Preventive therapies are the CGRPs, which I take. The beta blockers. My dad was on that. Anti-convulsion medicine. Botox. I know that's a big one that was popular for a while, where they'd inject Botox into your forehead, I think, to relieve the migraines. My sister actually did that. Tammy did that for a while.
Did it work?
For a while it did. And then there's the non-pharmaceutical approaches, which is the sleep, hygiene, hydration, magnesium, riboflavins, mindfulness and exercise, and build a personal treatment plan. So kind of like what I do. I know what to do when I get one.
Okay, how does exercise work with migraines?
Well, if you're in good physical health, it keeps your hormones regulated and stuff like that.
So you want to do exercise when you're not having a migraine, more as preventative.
Right, yeah. And it also reduces stress, which is a main contributor to migraines.
Well, that kind of makes sense because, from what you're describing, I can see exercising with a migraine.
No, you can't. You don't want to do anything to get your heart beat up because it makes it more painful. So lifestyle and trigger management is to track it. That's how you figure out what is causing a lot of the migraines. Like I said, I think mine are caffeine and chocolate and processed foods. Nutrition considerations are caffeine, alcohol, aged cheeses, and nitrates. There's been a connection that these are migraine triggers for a lot of people. stress management techniques, and the role of constant routines. New therapy devices such as the next gen CGRP drugs and genetic insights. The ever evolving understanding of migraines is a whole brain disorder. And there's lots of stuff that scientists don't know about it yet. They're still learning. We were told that when you had your brain thing, that the brain is like the last thing to be explored.
It's a real mystery as far as doctors go, and they're still exploring a lot of stuff about the brain.
Right.
That's why people with brain conditions or disorders or even diseases are all, it doesn't matter if they come up with some more knowledge about, say, ALS, it's going to help people with Parkinson's, perhaps people with other diseases and conditions as well. Not necessarily in the way that you think of a cure.
But just knowing the brain much better.
If there's a new drug that they use for ALS, one of the side effects that it produces may help another condition.
Right.
So it's like, I know it sounds like trial and error, but hey, that's kind of what science is. Stumble upon something and then see if you can recreate it. That's what science is. What the scientific method is.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I want you to pay attention to this, because this is supposed to be our closing segment, but I think it's very important to reiterate. Okay, most people have support groups, and there may not be a specific support group for migraines in your area, but if we hadn't had this discussion today, I would have just continued thinking migraines are just another headache. And they're not. They're, far worse than just your average headache, it sounds like. So, what you may want to do is encourage either yourself or others to participate in neurologically related support groups. Sometimes they're specifically focused on specific brain disorders, but for example, we go to a medical provider here that has a brain disorder work support group, and you run into all different sorts of disorders. And anywhere where people can understand what you're going through and understand the frustration, just talking about it will help. Am I correct?
Yes.
Well, only one short piece of housekeeping, and that relates to our Batman wheelchair contest on the Facebook page. I realize it's early days. We set the end date for the contest to be end of July, so people have, plenty of time. And we started talking about it before we were even in July. So people would have plenty of time to work on it. And if they did run into problems getting it digitized, say something about their problem before it was the day after or something. So all I have to do is remind you that we're running. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I'm going to post that on Facebook today to remind everyone that we are running that cause test. I did notify DC, who owns the trademark for Batman items, that we are not making any money off of that. And basically, we're using it for our own entertainment purposes. And we're not going to manufacture Batman-themed wheelchairs. Perhaps somebody is going to decorate their wheelchair with a Batman theme for Halloween or something like that, but as long as you're doing it for yourself, it's okay. Just don't make something like that and sell it to somebody else. Otherwise, you're making a liar out of me. Can you think of anything else that needs saying, dear?
Nope.
Have we mentioned that we're moving on here yet?
Not
Yeah, I
yet.
think we did last week.
We just said we're
we don't have a date for that yet, but
it won't disrupt the podcast at all.
I don't think it's going to disrupt the podcast. We'll just upload. We'll do more uploading of episodes earlier so we can take a few weeks off and get it done when the time is right. Not have to worry about podcasting while we're trying to move at the same time. But if you do post things or email us and it goes a few weeks before we respond, that might be why. You might have just emailed us in the middle of a move or something like that.
Okay.
So until next time, when life gives you lemons,
make lemonade.
Talk to you next time, folks.